Alright guys, such coming here today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Lots of reaction to the first day of the Halo World Championship. Scump gives lots of thoughts on FormaL for the last couple of days, his potential retirement after this tournament, what it means for the watch party, but also how things are kicking off at the Halo World Championship and whether FormaL could well go out with a bang. Very much into your thoughts and the comments. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new, as always. Plenty to get into today. We're going to start here. The CDL usually says at around about this time of year what the majors are going to be. They've not said it yet. We don't know. There was a rumour that Major 1 was going to be Toronto. The latest rumour is that might be in Dallas instead. Major 2 we are pretty sure is going to be in Birmingham in the UK at the DreamHack event. Major 3 we thought could have been Dallas, but now there's talk about maybe Atlanta. Major 4 we thought was Paris, but now there are some questions on that. Champs maybe Vegas. Well, probably Vegas. I don't even know at this point. Like, genuinely don't know. The COD League are now rage baiting about it until if you get to pick the next major, where would you go? It's like, well, I got a second, lads. It's nearly the end of October here. Can we maybe get a schedule or something? That might be nice. Fair few clips to go through. I thought this was pretty funny. They chuck crashing out of some Battlefield players saying they're just terrible. Look, again, you already know when you see these tweets, there's going to be so many people in the replies. It's exciting, I will say, to have this kind of COD versus Battlefield rivalry back on the menu in terms of the player base. And I think it's going to be good for both games in the grand scheme of things, even if it's causing a little bit of drama on social media. This is also pretty cool that Lightman put together. Best hardpoint KD every season. So this varies quite considerably actually over the years. And if I make it full screen, you'll see what I'm talking about. So Octane has, back in Modern Warfare 19, the highest KD here by an absolute country mile. So this was Surge Octane at his best. He would sit in a window and he would gun you down. And that was the playstyle that Surge wanted to go for. It was 5v5. The M4 was pretty good. That's what Octane did. And look, was Surge very good? No. But Octane played his part, right? And he definitely put up some good numbers that year. It was kind of wild, though, to average a 1.3 in hardpoint that season. Cold War, remarkably enough, was actually a HyDra, which is not what I expected, to be fair. I think that Simp must have it for hardpoints that game. I think I would have expected somebody else, right? But it puts into context, to some extent, HyDra's rookie year, because that was his first season in the CDL. I think we look back on Cold War HyDra and say, yeah, like he was good, he was fine, but he certainly wasn't even Vanguard HyDra or Modern Warfare 2 HyDra for sure. And I think since Modern Warfare 2, HyDra's stayed at a pretty similar level. Not quite the heights that he was in Modern Warfare 2, where he was just the absolute do-it-all. But I think people look back at HyDra's rookie year without too much memory of it, really. Okay, he made the finals of Major 3 with New York, but it was online. He was pretty good. But for him to have a 1.17 in hardpoint that year is pretty impressive. Okay, look, it's KD, right? Does it mean everything? No, but it's still interesting. And then 3 of the last 4 years, it's been Cellium, right? No massive surprises here. Cell at a 1.27 in Vanguard, 1.23 in Modern Warfare 2. Then it was Scrap, and then Cell was actually back on top this year with only a 1.15, which is interesting to see that actually the KDs have kind of come down over the last couple of years. Maybe it shows people are playing the game slightly differently than they used to before, not putting, not just playing for kills all the time. I don't know. It's interesting to see this development over the last few years, I will say. Scrap himself actually was trying to get some chows going, but not everyone's trying to play at the moment, right? Because, well, Battlefield here, the Halo World Championship is on. The teams and the players are presumably trying to get a little bit of rest in before the upcoming season, because Black Ops 7 is going to be grinded hard when it does eventually launch. Fair few clips I wanted to go through. Some reaction to some of the updates for BO7. So we saw yesterday the schedule for the first season of play. There's 18 maps, standoffs coming in, meltdowns coming in. They've got some other DLC maps as well. There've been some speculation on whether any of those DLC maps could be remastered. Of course, there's been talk about Vertigo from Black Ops 2. That was a DLC map then, coming back as well. Maybe in a different form, we'll see. Because the remastered maps so far have got a bit of a Japanese theme, so if you see maps that have a bit more of a Japanese theme, then maybe it's worth, keeping that in mind, I don't know, when it comes to a potential remaster. But Scump was also talking in some detail about this interview with FormaL. So Hex sat down with FormaL, talked about the end of his career, effectively. Is he going to step away after this tournament? FormaL didn't make it 100% clear, but he did say in his head, like, he thinks this is probably his last ever competitive tournament. He's certainly considering it in that vein. And then talking about the watch party, what comes next for him, and Scump was talking about all sorts of things I thought were pretty funny. This is one of them, and I'm pretty sure that he's just trolling here, right? Like, I don't think it's that serious. I don't think Scump really thinks that he's on an ESPN analyst show and he needs to make sure the contracts are all finalised, because, like, if FormaL comes on the watch party and then FormaL's off the watch party and he wants to compete again, then, you know, do what you like, right? They've got plenty of talent over there for the watch party next season. And I think FormaL, great personality, great entertainer. Like, I love having him on these streams, but is he going to sit there and be like, oh, thanks for the 5 gifted, right? That doesn't really strike me as quite FormaL's personality, so I don't know if that's necessarily going to last forever, so I am fascinated to see what FormaL decides to do next. Look, as we said for years with OpTic, and I'm not saying FormaL should coach or anything, I don't know if he would be the perfect coach, but it's just, when Karma wasn't coaching OpTic, I was like, why, right? Karma's literally there on OpTic, not doing much. Like, sure, it just makes sense. You've got all the talent. You've got Scump, you've got FormaL, you've got Karma. Crimsix is now back in the OpTic fold to a certain extent as well. So it's like, why not deploy that talent somehow, right? So I think that'll still be the case for FormaL in some regard or another.
Standoff and meltdown
As soon as the
from
marathon.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2 coming to Black Ops 7.
Unmuted. That is pretty soon. It is
I'm
11
fine
days
with that.
away.
Little
Oh,
standoff
shit. How's
action?
the
Yeah,
training
it's
going?
really close. Not good. I'm injured and I'm
Are we
undertrained
back?
and I'm pretty nervous.
Is
But
COD back?
Shit.
I'm ready to get it over with.
Nuketown's back?
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
Now, Teep, now that I remember a conversation we were
damn.
having yesterday on stream,
We're
word on
eating
the
good,
street is
boys.
you're pretty
We're
good at
eating so
pickleball,
good.
and people would put.
Why he might be calming that differently, why he might not be giving me the right look when I'm fist bumping him. Like, I'm thinking about all these things, where back then I didn't give a fuck. I was just like,
Damn,
he's
yo.
back, I don't care.
He just
You
said
know,
that
it was
he's...
like, now it's like, I want to get to the bottom of it instantly, and I want to fix it instantly. Where it's like, I don't know if that's like selflessness or if that's more hyper aware of just things more and wanting
I'll
to
tell you what that
fix
is, because I
problems
feel
and
the same
squash them.
way. It's called maturity, man. It's called maturity. See, a lot of people don't realize that all of us pro players at one point were literally high school kids, and people were watching us develop in front of their eyes. It's 100% maturity. Now we're all 30 years old, and it's like, oh shit, maybe I was an asshole.
When they happen.
You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, it's just different versions of myself for sure.
You obviously have been around lots.
I actually think when I started teaming with Dashy that what I'm talking about now with trying to push my teammates ahead kind of actually started happening. Whereas like before that, in 2019, for example, when I went to LG and I was playing with a bunch of new players, I truthfully wasn't trying to like elevate them to their best version of themselves. I was trying to make sure I wasn't getting shit on. You know?
Dude. Dylan, Bruce, and Matt. These guys were the dumbest trio I think I've ever teamed with. I mean, seriously. I'll tell you one thing, folks. It was an awful day to be marijuana rolled up in a raw paper. Terrible day in front of that trio right there. One of the worst.
When I played with Brandon, probably because back to my house, I'm falling asleep, and I'm like, dude, I kind of want to fucking play something, bro. I'm like sick of watching. Like that could happen to me overnight, any night. Truthfully, it could happen any night. So
Okay.
I'm not gonna say this is my last event, but
All right. So, okay. We run a pretty tight ship on the watch party. Okay. If he's gonna say he's on the watch party and then 5 months into it he tries to say I'm off the watch party, I don't know how I'm gonna be able to handle that. All right. It has to be a commitment. Listen, it's gotta be a commitment.
I mean, like I'm kind
And
of
it's a
taking the
long
mindset
year,
that
brother.
if it is, then
You have to win.
then it's all in. You know,
ability that skulls bring to a campaign.
I needed them
Yo,
shits. I
Tony, what do
needed
you
that
think so
armor.
far about this campaign?
I think this is one of the more out-of-touch things.
It might be one of the most out-of-touch things I've ever seen.
This is the last competitive Halo event in the near future, and you announced a campaign remaster.
Of a game that's already been remastered.
What the fuck are these guys talking about?
If there's one thing that this community has shown us,
This is the third time they're throwing it out.
and they will find
You're lucky I'm not Lottie.
So Halo's always been known for its
You wouldn't say shit if you were up on that desk. You'd be saying, "Oh, it looks amazing. I can't wait to play."
to change the sandbox.
The other controversial thing about this Halo World Championship, they announced this remastered campaign of like the 2006 Halo, whatever. So the timing was probably not. I mean, it's probably not great, but like the way they announced it, right? Because you're announcing it at the World Championship with a load of competitive fans. Really, they care about the competitive scene and the fact that it's dying and it's going away. And you're going to talk about a remastered campaign. And yeah, they kind of implied that the goal was of remastering the campaign to help, you know, progress in the future. But they didn't really make it especially clear what that looked like. So it came across pretty out of touch. I don't think many people were especially happy about this, certainly not for the competitive scene. But let's talk about the way that things went then in the Halo World Championship yesterday. This was actually a really important game in the grand scheme of things. OpTic played TSM, and they went to a final map here, Slayer, and they took the win. So FormaL, Bound, Renegade, Legend, of course. It's a huge tournament for them. Of course, every tournament's huge, but, you know, especially for FormaL, right? Wanting to get revenge for what happened over the last couple of years at the Halo World Championship. Good start for OpTic against TSM. Look, there are some other top quality teams in this tournament. The Group C, though, they did win it. Pool C belongs to OpTic, as Halo tweeted out yesterday. These were the way that those pools eventually concluded. So, Shopify Rebellion, they 3-0'd everyone in Group A. They were the #1 seed coming into the tournament, but their group was one of the weaker ones, right? As the #1 seed, they had the 9th seed, the 8th seed, the 16th seed in their group. Group B was actually topped by Cloud9. FaZe, despite being the 2nd seed, they lost to Cloud9. I think there's a couple of guys on that Cloud9 team who have actually said they want to come to COD in the off-season, well, the off-season's here, right? But for next year. So rumor has it they might be looking at maybe like Collect, I think is one of them, looking at starting in challenges. So that's a player and a team to keep your eye on. So they topped Pool C, Pool B. Pool B was topped by OpTic. They were the 3rd seed. They beat TSM, who were the 6th seeds in 5. They 3-0'd the other teams they played. And then Envy ended up on top of Space Station. There were 3 teams at 2-1 here. Omid got eliminated, but it was Envy, Space Station, and Ernum or whatever. They ended up 3rd, but Envy topped the pool, so Space Station 2nd, and that therefore means that OpTic will be playing Space Station in the brackets coming up today. So, yeah, pretty mega bracket that the Halo World Championship has. OpTic find themselves on the side with Space Station and Cloud9, which is probably, I don't know, is it the side you want to be on? Quite possibly. Do you want to play Shopify Rebellion or FaZe or whatever? I mean, Shopify Rebellion, #1, #2 seed, them and FaZe, someone's going to be down and losers straight away. So I guess the bracket is shaping up all right, but we know that OpTic and Space Station, I mean, there's been a fair bit of rivalry there in the Halo side now for quite some time. So very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Scump, of course, was, you know, given his reaction to Renegade making the plays to end up winning that important game against TSM, but it's early days, but OpTic have topped their pool as they would have liked to. Very much enjoyed your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.
Just watching that BO4 VOD. I'm about to start watching BO4 VOD.
We're gonna start watching BO4 too. Let's play that one. Ooh, with, oh my god! My beatbox. What the fuck? Yo, I've never done that. What the fuck?
Oh shit, wait,
nah.